Hello and welcome to my Minecraft world. I'm using the Resonant Rise modpack for version 1.7.10, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what I've built so far and maybe an idea of some of my plans in the future, and I hope you enjoy it. So with that, we'll just get right started. And I'll put my helmet back on because otherwise it doesn't look as nice. Right. So I've built my house out here in this, what kind of biome is it again? It's a taiga biome. Doesn't look cold enough to be taiga if you ask me, but I guess that's where all these spruce trees come from. Right next to this lovely video here, there's an autumnal biome across the hill there, so you can see all of the nice trees changing color. Nice little river here. I like the view. I should say, by the way, that Resonant Rise is a fairly CPU-intensive mod pack in the sense that there's a lot of mods in the pack, and it takes quite a lot of your computer's resources to get them all loaded. So I'm not playing with a texture pack this time, but it doesn't mean that we have to settle with ugly blocks. So this house that I've made here, I've made with chisel blocks. Looks pretty nice, I think. I like this smooth connected texture, and I've gone for kind of a nice modern look this time around. So I really like this little window here into the bedroom and crafting area. I got some ender lilies growing over here. This is a way of farming a resource called an ender pearl, which I hate hunting for, so got some nice plants over here. I'll show you inside the house. Got a bedroom over here. Here's a Thaumcraft research table. I'm not going to get too into how this various stuff works because this video is really meant as more of an overview. But basically, if I were to put some paper up there, some research notes, I'd be able to combine these elements together and come up with new research for Thaumcraft, new things to build. We got a nice chunk loader over here that'll make sure that the game doesn't unload any of the terrain that I'm standing in when I'm not here. And this is the main area that I spend most of my time in. This is the storage and crafting area. So I've got a whole bunch of iron chests over here. This keeps all of my stuff. I got some metal ingots inside this chest. Nothing inside that chest, but dust inside this chest. I got plants up here. Got various mob drops over here, so this is basically where I keep all of my resources. And then I have this nifty thing right here. This is a production table from Steve's workshop. Basically what this does, right now I have it set up so that there are 4 crafting tables inside of it. But actually I could change that if I wanted to. So you see how there are crafting tables here, and a nice storage upgrade there, so that I have one little storage unit per crafting table. Lets me build all sorts of nice stuff. But actually, in my ore processing section over here, so I have a really simple automated setup for ore processing here. I have a workshop here as well, but instead of having 4 crafting tables in this one, I got a crafting table and 3 furnaces, and some upgrades in here for the fuel efficiency to be a bit better. And this all runs off charcoal. So what I could do if I wanted to, maybe I should explain the basics of this before I get too much into this. Let's say I were to pop down over here and pick up some sand. And that hole is going to annoy me, so I'm just going to put some dirt where it was. And oh no, it's getting night, so monsters spawn in the dark, so bear with me while I go and sleep through the night real quick. Dum-dum-dum-dum. And it's daytime again. So now that I have some sand in my digger's backpack over here, what I could do is run over to this furnace. That's not a furnace, that's a furnace. Go to the main thing here and pop it in here, and it'll get cooked up into glass. Sand turns into glass in Minecraft when you put it inside a furnace. Now, you didn't see anything happen here, but that's because I've set it up so that all of this stuff, when it's done cooking, gets emitted into this chest here. And there you are, there's our glass. So this is a nice little mod here, production table. It lets you put either furnaces or crafting tables inside, and once you do, you can set it up to automatically input or output from other sides there. So I also have a, this is what it's called, a sag mill. This is a way of doubling ores and also making things from the mod called Ender IO. So I think, if I was smart, oh I'm so smart, I got some iron ore over here, because for once I'm prepared for these videos, sort of. Let me tell you, by the way, recording these videos is harder than it sounds/looks. This is already like my 2nd attempt, and I'm probably screwing it up. But in any case, here I have some iron ore. Normally, if I were to put this inside a regular furnace, I would get 1 iron ingot per iron ore. But why have 1 when you can have 2? So I have this set up to automatically output into this furnace over here, but I'm going to disable that real quick, because otherwise this will happen too quickly for you to be able to see it. But here I'm going to take one iron ore, put it in here. It's going to quickly get cooked up into 2 iron powders. And now I can take those iron powders, and this is, what is this block called again? Right, the alloy smelter. This also is from Ender IO, and it lets you cook up your dust and cook a variety of things into various items that are used in the creation of tools for this mod. Put these in here. They are rapidly smelted into, oh no, I forgot to disable the output there, but basically they're rapidly smelted into 2 iron ingots, and if I had, maybe I can demonstrate this a bit better by doing this. So now we have 1, and then we disable the output so that this doesn't happen too quickly for you to see it. No, stop doing that. Okay, well, this is a great way to demonstrate why making videos is harder than it looks when you watch other people do it on YouTube. There! Now I have an iron dust and 1 iron ingot that came out of it. And if there's other stuff in this chest, it's because I've been using this to process all of my ores and stuff. So I have copper in here, I got some silver, some stone, which is what you get when you put cobblestone inside a furnace, some lead, some gold, all sorts of good stuff in here. And now I also have some circuit plates, even though I didn't need them because I accidentally cooked up some stone. So, whoops. Yeah. Anyway, let's just say for a second that I decided I had too much cobblestone and I didn't want it anymore. Then I could put it inside this little trash can and it would just be gone forever. That's all this block does, is a trash can to get rid of all your unnecessary crap. That's basically what I got over here. This is a block called the Slice and Splice. I'm not going to get into what that does, but let's just say you can use it to build more stuff inside of Ender IO. I'll show you something that you can build using this in a second. And this is a redstone furnace. The only reason I built another one of these furnaces, because it basically is the same as this alloy smelter, is because inside a redstone furnace you can take rotten flesh, which doesn't sound appealing, but which drops from zombies, put it in here, and it will cook up into leather, which is really useful, because otherwise I have to kill a cow for every bit of leather that I need, and that actually is not very efficient and takes a while, and I haven't built an efficient cow farm yet. Basically, instead, all I got here is some wheat, and if I were to feed the wheat to these cows, I could breed a new cow, but then I would have to wait for it to grow up, and it would take a while, and blarg, we don't want that, so it's easier just to kill the zombies that show up at night, and then cook their awful rotten flesh into nice, useful leather. So that's what we do. Now, you might have noticed in here that there's a red power bar next to these machines. See how I've stored 500,000 of a unit called RF that stands for Redstone Flux. That's basically the energy unit used by Ender IO. And I'm producing that down here in the basement using this machine right here. But before I show you this, I should show you the source, because basically this house is powered by entirely sustainable energy. So what I've got over here next to my sugarcane farm is a windmill, which is not turning very fast at the moment, probably because these trees are in the way. But this windmill right here is emitting a little bit of power. It just does it automatically. It would be more if I was higher up, but right now we're not too high up from sea level, so it just emits a little bit. But that's okay, that's all we need. That power gets put through this energy conduit, comes out here. This is a harvester. So what the harvester does is when these trees get large, it will slowly chop them down. And I say slowly because it doesn't have that much power, but that's okay. We don't need it to do it that fast. And you can see the particles from where it's getting rid of the leaves there. And actually the trees will grow faster than they can harvest them, but we don't mind too much because basically when it harvests the trees, it'll produce wood and saplings. And that's what we want out of this machine. And I'll show you down there where all of this stuff goes. So let's pop back over here. Up here, and here you see the guts of this machine. So the harvester is up there. We were outside a second ago looking at that. And we also have a planter in here, which is going to plant saplings, and they'll grow into trees one at a time. And then when the harvester chops them down, it all comes through these pipes over here. The wood goes into this thing, and it produces charcoal, because when you put wood in a furnace, you get charcoal. Extra wood goes in that barrel, extra saplings go in that barrel, and once the wood has been cooked into charcoal, it goes into this barrel, although it's full right now, so you don't see it moving. However, the charcoal in this barrel will also serve as fuel for this generator over here. So right now, my power storage is completely full, so it's not burning. but whenever I cook something in the furnaces, or actually, shouldn't that be loading up? We'll just move that for now. Oh yes, it is. You see, now you can see that the it's slowly increasing in storage. It's got 12,000, it's about to go up to 130,000 RF per tick. And as that fills up, this charcoal in here will slowly burn and fill this up with power. This is basically like a giant portable battery, and if I wanted to, I could take it out once it's full and move it someplace else. I also said that I was going to show you something that you can build with the Slice and Splice before. That's this wireless charger. So what I have here is a bunch of custom tools, which I've just given women's names because I'm terrible at naming things. But here's Annabelle the pickaxe. Annabelle the pickaxe actually runs on RF, so right now it's completely full up, and if I were to use it to, say, move this block right here, you can see that it's full up again, even though I didn't charge it anything, and that's because of this wireless charger right here. Basically anything in my inventory that has a battery will automatically charge up from this wireless charger, which is pretty neat and saves me the effort of having to charge my tools manually. And you can see that this here Stirling generator, which burns the charcoal, is powering the machines up there. You can't see it actually perfectly because I haven't bothered to cut that part out just for this video, but anything that requires a source of power is being connected by these cables over here. So that's basically the basement over here, and I also have one more thing in the basement I want to show you. This is a smeltery from Tinker's Construct, and it's actually how these tools were built. So this is kind of cool. Basically, you have your smeltery controller right here, and this is also a way of doubling ores if you wanted to. So I could put the iron ore in here. That's going to take a second to heat up, and when that bar reaches the maximum height, it will turn into liquid iron. And then if I wanted to, I could take some castings out from this. So here's a pickaxe head casting, tool binding cast, and a, let's see, where's my tool rod cast? So if I wanted to, I could take that back up here, put down the pickaxe head and the casting table, and the tool rod binding, and then once that melts, which it's almost done melting, I should be able to pour the liquid metal out and into the casting table. So there we are. You can see that there's 2 ingots because you get ore doubling. Remember, 1 ore equals 2 ingots of molten iron in there. And then I can right click on this little spigot, and it will pour the iron into the casting table, and then I'll have an iron pickaxe head, an iron tool binding, and all I need now to build myself my very own iron pick is a tool rod. And then wait for that to cool, and there we go. And now that I have everything that I need, if I wanted to, I could build a iron pick. And I can call it whatever I want to. Let's just call it, I don't know, Priscilla. Priscilla the iron pick. Ta-da! Now, I don't actually want this thing because the pick that I have, Annabelle, over here, that's a way better pick. So I should be able to just, I hope this works. Is that gonna melt? Okay, well, if you put the individual components back in there, so if I had put just the head and the tool binding and the rod back in, I would have been able to melt them back down and then pour them into an ingot cast and get my ingots back. But as it is, I can afford to lose 2 iron ingots to make this pick as a demonstration, and we'll just call Priscilla the backup pick in case something happens to my good pick. So let's see, I think I've already been talking for a while. It's actually amazing how much time you can spend talking about this stuff. I have some other things that I could show you. For example, I don't know what I'm going to do with Priscilla over here. I'll just dump it in that chest. I could show you my nether portal over there, which actually, I should say by the way that I built this house myself, but this mod pack also generates some structures in the world naturally. So this whole like little temple thing, that was here when I arrived, and I haven't done much with it except to put my nether portal in there. So if I wanted to, I could go to the nether and show you the source of my lava, because I have some lava in a barrel downstairs, which you saw over here. and that lava I'm using to make obsidian when I want to. Right now I only made 2, but if I wanted to, I could combine lava and water to make obsidian. Or I could combine lava and water to make more cobble or more stone. So that's something cool that we have up here. And something else that I could show you is my Britannia setup right here. Oh, right, I did want to show you this. So here, this was actually really clever of me. This Britannia setup basically uses flowers, and the flowers, I guess the idea is that they sort of pull energy in from the surrounding environment, and you can use this sort of magical energy to make a variety of tools and stuff like that. So one of the things that I have here from Britannia is the Ring of Magnetization. If I were to put that on, and then toss something over there, give it a couple of seconds there, and it will just zoop right back to me. So this is really handy for when you're going mining and you got like blocks flying everywhere, and it will just kind of automatically suck everything into your inventory. To make something like that, basically what you do is, you see this thing right here? This is called the endoflame. Endoflames burn things like charcoal. You can also use coal in here. Really anything that you can use to power a furnace can be burned in an endoflame. And what this has here, this is a setup that I kind of stole from someone else, since my basic setup just used a timer, and this setup is better. But I'm not going to show you the mechanisms underneath it, but oh well, okay, I guess I will. I'll show you a little bit. So underneath the ground over here, we have something called a redstone comparator, which detects how much mana is in this little basin above there, and then according to how much mana is in there, it outputs a signal, and basically these will light up when the signal is stronger. So the more full this little thing is up here, the stronger the single output would be, and you can see that it's almost going all the way around. If it just gets a little bit more full, then this timer will constantly have an input that will prevent it from going around here. And this NOT gate will always be negative, and then this wireless emitter over there will always be powered. And right now, as it is, it's powered only when this thing is emitting a pulse. So basically, when this thing isn't running, this thing won't be pulsing. And then the timer downstairs will run, and every time it runs, this thing will be dropping a little block of charcoal on top of the endoflame. However, since this thing is still pulsing, oops, yeah, you see that's why I turned that off. Come on, no, yeah, got it. Instead, basically, when this thing is all full up, this will stop running, and it will no longer drop charcoal down onto that. So this is just a way of filling up my mana pool automatically without me having to constantly stand here and throw blocks of charcoal at this endoflame. And while this mana pool is full, we can do some stuff with it. So in order to make these runes over here, the runes are things that you need to make jewelry and various tools from the mod. And I can take 3 iron ingots. I'm going to take off my ring of magnetization for this, because I don't want them to come back to my inventory while I'm doing this. And I can just throw these iron ingots in here, and for every one that I throw into my pool of mana, I will get a mana steel ingot. And once I have that mana steel ingot, I can put that on this altar, along with some other stuff that I've already put on here, because like I said, I'm trying to learn to think ahead when I plan these videos. And if I look in my Lexico Britannia, which is sort of the instruction manual for all this mod, I can see that the 3 of these, plus all of this stuff, will make a rune of water. So then I'll take my little wand out of my bag here. It's in here somewhere. Oh, here it is. And I should be able to click on this to start the process. And you can actually see there's a little progress bar filling up, sort of a little circular bar right there, and all of the mana from the pool is getting pulled out of the pool and getting shot over towards this runic altar over here. And when it's done, I'm going to need one of these. But we'll wait for it to be done first. So you can see it's about, not quite 75% full, almost. But in the meanwhile, this kind of thing looks pretty nifty, I think. I like watching the little items swirl around the runic altar. That's pretty cool, right? So then we'll do that. We'll throw some living rock on there. So, oops, I said we'll throw some living rock on there. There we go. You can see that there's lightning coming out of there now, which means that it's ready. And then hit it with the wand of the forest again. Ta-da! And we've got 3 rooms of water. And I could use these rooms of water to make more stuff like this magnetization ring. I also have a sojourner's sash, which lets me jump a bit higher than I normally would be able to, and move a bit faster. So I'll just show you what it looks like when I'm not wearing that. You see, that's way less high. And oh, look how slow I'm moving. Oh, it just pains me to move this slow. You get really used to wearing these items, so ugh. I do not like moving as slow as that. But yeah, that's basically what I have so far. Couple other things in here. This is a energy condenser. This is an old remake from another mod. I'm not going to show you this just because I think I've been talking too long already. So, in a couple of months, probably when I have time to update the world and show you the rest of what I've been working on, I'll be back to show you another video then. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.